Hello and welcome back to the Pixel Street Podcast. This is episode 255 of the show, where each and every week, sometimes, me and John get together and talk about video games. We've been on a hiatus for a little bit. Um,
Yeah,
just life happens, man. We
we
get
we were
busy.
busy.
I
Things
went on a
and you know
vacation.
what? Let's just say it out front. Everything sucked in gaming for a while now.
Everything.
Okay. All right. I'm tired of hearing about thousands and thousands of more people losing their job. I'm tired of hearing about all these studios being shut down and all these games being canceled that sound good. Um, I didn't put it in the quick news, but a Twisted Metal game that I've been saying forever. Hey, Sony, Twisted Metal game, perfect opportunity to do that. That was canceled with all their layoffs recently. So, like, everything just sucks right now with video games.
Yeah, it's nonstop, right? Like we've already hit thousands and thousands of layoffs this year.
Hmm.
Um, like it got so bad at the end of last year that now this year they're just keeping track of it. Like every news outlet has an article. This is how many people have died. Or sorry, not
Oh,
died. Oh
Jesus.
shit. I mean, they might as well be killing these people.
Yeah.
No, this is how many people have been laid off this year because of all these layoffs. Like it's crazy. That's how bad it is. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, corporations are bad, right? Like, and like that's part of the title of this podcast is like it's hard to want to talk about video games every week when every week the headline of the show is going to be layoffs. You know what I mean? It's like, and don't get me wrong, like if we were completely free and our schedules lined up, we would still talk about it every week. But it's
Yeah.
just like it's like that. It's that I don't know. It's that
I
second
don't.
level of like I don't want to just talk about negativity every fucking week about things that I fucking love. Especially
It's.
because the first half of the title of the podcast is that video games are good, right? We're
Hmm.
getting better and better. Like games are constantly coming out and they're good and they're good, right? We just got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming out, great game. We got Helldivers 2 come out, great game. But then it's like also the companies that didn't release great games right now, they may have released great games in the last year, 2 years. Yeah, they're just letting everybody go because they don't have the huge income that they want at this moment.
Yeah, they're not seeing enough growth. They saw some growth, but not enough. And it's 100% on the heads of that company, the managers, and everything. But of course, the people that actually did the work, earned them all this wealth, they're the ones that pay for it.
Yeah, it's just fucking depressing, man. And like the future, I said it on the last podcast we did. The future of video games is just scary as a whole, right? Like we're getting all these like big hitting, awesome, huge games, along with some awesome smaller games. Like Helldivers 2, I would say, is kind of a smaller game, right? Like
Mhm.
it's not a huge open world thing like Final Fantasy is. It's not, doesn't have a crazy story. It's just fun, and that's what makes
Mhm.
it great. And it's like, where are we going to be in 10 to 15 years after all these layoffs? Like, that's when we're going to start seeing the ramifications of these layoffs, I think. And it's scary, real
I
scary.
wouldn't say that far down the line. I would say much closer, though. We'll say 5 years. Like, how does everything look 5 years down the line? Because it's not just that people are losing their jobs and like getting other ones. It's like there's not enough jobs to go around right now. Like people are going to be leaving the industry. Very talented, very passionate people, and you're just gonna lose out on a lot of great things because of that.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
before we talk about AI and all these other issues.
Yeah,
Not fun.
not fun at all. Let's just get into the news, John. This is probably gonna be a shorter episode because it is slow news
Hmm.
overall. Oh, but first, real quick, you can follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street and check out our pin tweet there. Join our Discord server, say what's up. Tell us if you want to play Helldivers 2. I've been playing it a lot, so come hang out. Main topics, John. There was an Xbox partner preview today, and I don't have they done one of these in the past? I
Hmm.
don't recall.
They did one a
It
year ago.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's just like it's not a huge thing, right? They just announced it Monday, said it's coming Wednesday. It
Hmm.
wasn't a huge thing, wasn't a big deal. We kind of knew it wasn't going to be anything like jaw dropping or crazy. But there was some stuff shown in here. Um, Game called Unknown 9 Awakening is coming summer 2024. You want to talk about the showcase overall a bit so I can pull up B-roll while we go?
Yeah, so honestly, in my opinion, nothing really at this show was something I was like, "Oh, I have to play this the moment it comes out."
What was
Um,
that Forsaken? This Unknown 9 game looks like Forsaken. When I saw it, I was like, "Oh, is
yeah,
Forsaken coming to Xbox?" Like, what?
yeah. Probably out of everything shown, that was the game that I was most like, "Oh, I would play that if it came to Game Pass," but I don't think I would, like, go out of my way to purchase it. It looked
John,
fine.
you don't want to play Roblox Chucky with your daughter?
That was I can't believe they put that in there. I was
That was
like,
so weird.
that was very weird. Um, yeah, I did see there was a was it Final Fantasy 14? Did they announce that yet?
They
I think
announced the
that's coming out.
official release date. I think it's March 21st. I could be wrong
Yeah.
on the date, but it's end of March. The beta, I think, has already been available on
Mm,
Xbox.
gotcha. So yeah, Persona 3 Reload expansion pass. There was a Monster Jam game in there. Like there was a lot of just weird stuff in here where it was
John,
kind of
you
like
don't fuck with Gravedigger? Come on now.
when I was a kid, I would go to my grandma and grandpa's and I would play on their computer. And I remember they had a Monster Truck game that I would play.
Nice.
Literally, my only experience with monster trucks. It's like I never
You never
thought about
went?
that.
You never went in person?
No, I
I
well,
went
I
like
lived in a farm town.
true, yeah. I went like 2 to 4 times I'd say when I was a kid. I used to enjoy it. Enjoy it enough. I would love to go now, like with the boys, just pound beers at Monster Jam. I think it'd be hilarious.
Are they so? I remember Gravedigger from decades ago. Are all of the trucks still the same? Like, is it the same people,
I
or is it like different
so
drivers, but they keep the trucks?
so the okay, I could be completely wrong, but from what I remember, some of the trucks stay the same throughout, right? And the
Mm,
drivers will switch out. But Gravedigger in particular, I think that somebody started in Gravedigger and then he got too old and his son took over driving it. And I don't know if that's still the case now. It could just be that a
mhm,
new driver's in there. Um, but yeah, I think it's just random. And I think they probably do switch out trucks and stuff because like there used to be a Scooby Doo truck when I was a kid, and I don't remember seeing that for a long time. And then Elise like showed me a clip. She's like, "Wait, there's a Scooby Doo truck." I was like, "I mean, yeah, there was when I was a kid. I don't know if it's still running the circuit like it used to."
mm. Yeah, let's see. So yeah, all you Monster Jam fans, get ready for that. Uh Stalker Legends of the Zone trilogy. I mean, that's cool. I didn't What's the Stalker game that got delayed? Was that Stalker
Stalker
2?
2. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I have no idea about Stalker. I didn't know there was a trilogy. So
Yeah,
like
I don't it could be like the trilogy is I don't know, one, Stalker 1 and then like
in
two
expansions.
offshoots. Yeah, two
Yeah.
offshoots that I don't know. Yeah, it is weird to call it a trilogy. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're looking forward to Stalker 2 though, there's that. I personally have no interest. Um
Same.
Tales of Kinzera Zhao, I think is how it's pronounced. I remember that game got shown off at the Game Awards this past year. That game looks fine. It looks like the people behind that are very passionate about it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, they're just like I don't know. If like all of these games were coming to Game Pass, there are some in here that I just wouldn't even download. I'd be like, not even really worth my time. There's some in there that I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I'd put some time into that and give it a try.
Yeah,
But
I think for me the thing with like Stalker in general as an IP is like I never really knew anybody that was super excited or, super supportive of the first Stalker game. Like, it's not like Oblivion where people are like, dude, you got to play Elder Scrolls, you got to play Oblivion, you got to play Skyrim. It's just
I
like
think
I've
it's
never met anybody that's like, dude, you got to go play Stalker One.
I do think that's a very niche market. I think it's one of those things where, yeah, you're right. The fan base is probably very small, but the people that do like it love it. I think that's really how it goes. At When's the last time we heard anything about Stalker 2? Because I know that game was put on hiatus because of the awful situation over in
Ukraine.
Ukraine. Trying to look it up.
Yeah, and it's just like it's one of those things too where being huge Xbox fans like you and me, like that's one of the big exclusives that Xbox has like been showing off for the past year, 2 years even. And it's
I
like,
think
oh
it's been
man,
longer than that.
I have no interest in this game, and every big showcase is going to take like a substantial portion of that showcase that they're showing.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's a tough situation because of that whole everything going on over there. And obviously, we hope that the developers are safe and fine and everything. I'm just like trying to find everything that's coming up when I
Wait,
search for stuff.
is this the studio that burned down?
I don't know.
Hold on, I remember a studio burning down.
That sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't know what game it was in relation to.
Yeah, Stalker 2 developer GSC Game World offices damaged by fire. That's the last we heard about it, and that was in September of 2023.
All right.
Which is crazy. It's like one thing after another going on over there. That sucks.
Uh, Looks like a month ago, some Stalker 2 gameplay images appeared on the Epic Games Store, but other than that, nothing.
Yeah, well, if you're excited for Stalker, I'm sure you're going to be trying out these Stalker kind of it's like a remaster,
Oh,
right?
I found it. All right. So in November 2023, the game is set to release in quarter 1 2024. But then 1 month ago, from The Verge, Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl has been delayed again. uh, and that's pushing Heart of Chernobyl back to September 5th. So that's when it's supposed to come out.
What's great, like the other thing is like nobody can get mad at that studio. It's like,
No.
look, we're literally like in a war zone potentially.
Hmm.
I don't know the exact, but like, there's a war going on near us at the very least. And also our fucking studio lit on fire, okay? You'll get the game when you get the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, I would really hope, because the video game community in general is awful. Like
It's
gamers are
toxic.
terrible, terrible people. Um, I would really hope that they're not threatening these devs or anything after
Yeah.
everything that they've gone through the last few years.
Yeah. I agree. Moving on, John. A bit of sad news. Rooster Teeth is being shut down because Warner Bros. Discovery decided to shut them down. Apparently, they were trying to sell them, like sell that side of the business for a while, and they just got no takers, and they just decided to shut it down. Now they're trying to sell the rights to the animated shows, as well as like the video game side of the company, I believe.
Yeah. So I used to watch a lot of Rooster Teeth. I mean, so many of
Same.
us did. Us people in our age range, like we grew up with Rooster Teeth. Like that was the main internet show, Red versus Blue, and then Ruby, and then you go into like the Achievement Hunter stuff, Funhouse, like all that stuff. I loved.
Yeah.
And then, fuck, how long ago was it? It was a while ago now. I would guess like 2016 ish, 2017. There was some really bad stuff that happened with a couple of people, Adam Kovic and Ryan Haywood, who were two people that I liked in that
Yeah.
area. They were found out to be sexual predators, and that just kind of threw me off like everything. And since then, there's just been constant, well, not constant, but I just keep seeing all these things coming out, like how bad the situation was at Rooster Teeth working for that company. And then you also hear that just like Rooster Teeth as a company was just constantly losing money, where it's like, I'm not I'm not too surprised that this happened. It really sounds like some bad stuff was going down. Yeah, it's unfortunate for like a nostalgic standpoint for like people around our age. Like I've seen a lot of people being like, "Oh man, this sucks." But also I'm kind of like
We weren't supporting them like we
we
used to.
weren't, and they didn't deserve it for everything bad that was happening there. It doesn't
Well,
sound like
I mean,
they
there was the
really
stuff
deserved it.
that bad that you had mentioned, and I think that's when a lot of people stopped watching. Um,
Mhm.
and then there was like a few years later, more stuff coming out about some other like achievement hunter guys and stuff that was kind of in the same realm of being a shithead.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and so yeah, and then there was like hazing allegations within Rooster Teeth. I remember,
Mhm.
um, and stuff like that, which is just crazy.
There's so I was doing some searching on Twitter earlier because I was just like, all right, well, I don't follow many of the people from back then that I would watch. So I'm gonna search for these people, see like where they are, what they have to say about this. So like Bernie Burns and Ashley, uh, they like moved to Europe years ago. They left the company forever ago. I saw Miles Luna post something. He's like, "Yeah, that was I met a lot of great friends there, but that was one of the worst jobs I ever had." Lawrence Sontag, who was a part of Funhouse, he's like, "Yeah, I hated being there, but I feel for the people I worked with." It's just like all these people that I'm seeing that I was like, wow. I when I think of those days, Rooster Teeth and all those shows, I think of these people, and they're like, "Yeah, no, this was bad. This was an awful place to be. This was a dark point in my life." Um,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a wild thing to see, especially when we think of so many people around our age and in this like kind of demographic of like people that love being online and consuming this content. We love this stuff so much, but man, it was it uh, not so great on the other side. Let's say that.
yeah. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be sad to like, I don't know, see like Funhouse and Achievement Hunter go. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm,
because like it's not something I watched all the time, but like there would be times when I'd see clips and stuff and I would enjoy them.
mhm.
But yeah, like kind of funny, like is in relations with Rooster Teeth because I apparently Rooster so
They
like
had
they
the Let's
partnered.
Play family thing.
Yeah, yeah. So they partnered with Rooster Teeth back in the day, and apparently Rooster Teeth has been um getting ads for Kind of Funny over the years, right? So like a
Mm,
bunch of the ads Kind of Funny runs is because Rooster Teeth sold them, within their podcast, which is pretty standard practice for, like TV shows and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, that like throws a loophole for them because like if that is stopping, right, Kind of Funny could struggle a bit, even though they're not technically owned by Rooster Teeth in any way. They're just affiliated. But from like what Greg so they found out about it live on Kind of Funny Games Daily today, and they didn't talk about it until like halfway through, and it was after an ad break, which I assume is because they didn't know, what to talk about.
mhm,
Um, and they sounded like optimistic that like they didn't hear anything about that side of the company closing, the selling of ad space on their podcasts and stuff. So hopefully that's good. And he said even if they did, he doesn't think that they'll struggle too much because they have like other avenues and other relationships in which they've been selling ads as well. So,
mm.
but yeah,
Yeah,
like it's just crazy. It's crazy that like it affects other companies, not just Rooster Teeth
mhm,
um,
yeah.
owned companies.
I didn't even realize that Warner Brothers owned them.
Neither did
Um,
I. And I think it's one of those things where I think Rooster Teeth got sold like a while ago to some other
mhm,
company. And when that happened, that's when everybody's like, oh, kind of like a sellout almost. And like you can tell probably after that happened that their content probably changed a bit, right? Like they started going heavy into anime and stuff with that Ruby show, I never watched
Mm.
it, but I know people love it, and I would assume that that is like direct relation to when they sold
Okay, so I've got
in
it
some
pulled up
way.
here. Full Screen bought Rooster Teeth in 2014. I knew about that. I knew
Okay.
I was watching during that time. But Full Screen was acquired by Otter Media, which later became a part of Warner Brothers Discovery. So there's like a whole line of acquisitions going on there and how they got under that umbrella.
Yeah. When did Rooster Teeth make their first game?
Their first game was it was a Ruby game. I remember that being on Xbox One. Um,
I mean, there you go. That's kind of a direct relation because Ruby didn't air until 2013. I just looked that
okay,
up.
so
So
I
that
would
would that
guess
would mean
it'd
that
be
would
like
mean when they
2015.
sold. Yeah, so that would mean when they sold, probably more money was being pumped into Rooster Teeth from a larger company, and
Probably,
that's
yeah.
probably why they started like a game development. Yeah, it sucks, man. Like it's one of those things where like I can't be too upset because I wasn't supporting them, but it is sad to see them go.
I wasn't supporting them, and pretty much every time I saw something about them, like on Reddit, like you know how you get like recommended things. Um, it was almost always bad stuff that I was being shown, and I'm just like, I don't want to get back into this.
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about other Warner Bros stuff, John.
Yeah, for some reason, Warner Brothers is doubling down on live service games, and I just don't understand this mindset. So pretty much, uh, here I've got the article pulled up on my side here. Um, Warner Brothers Discovery CEO and president of streaming and games, JB Parrott, spoke about the company's strategy during a recent Morgan Stanley event. He acknowledges the success of projects like the single player Hogwarts Legacy, which managed to be last year's best selling game in the United States, but says the business of AAA console releases can be volatile. We all know that. We've talked about that endlessly. That's a great business when you have a hit like Hogwarts Legacy. It makes the year look amazing. Unfortunately, we also have disappointments. We just released Suicide Squad this quarter, which was not as strong. It just makes it very volatile. And so Suicide Squad is not a game that I would put in the same realm as Hogwarts Legacy, considering
No.
that that game is a live service game. It was always billed to be a live service game. That game that you're trying to double down on is the exact same thing that you're saying failed for you.
Yeah.
And there's a whole ton of reasons why Suicide Squad didn't do that well. Like you and me, we've both talked about our disappointments with that game, and like
John,
I've
I'll tell you something else. The last thing I want is the next Harry Potter game to be a live service game.
right. I don't
That's the
want
last
Hogwarts
thing I
Legacy
want.
2 to be a live service game. Like I would that does not sound good to me. So yeah, he goes on to explain that Warner Brothers is looking at its four major franchises: Mortal Kombat, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, and DC, and is hoping to expand in the mobile and multi-platform free-to-play space. It will take some time for Warner Brothers' efforts to come to fruition, with Perret estimating we'll see the impact between 2025 and 2027. He does say though that the company will release more mobile free-to-play titles later this year. That doesn't sound like anything I want out of Warner Brothers
Yeah.
at all.
To
Like
be
I've heard them.
fair, to be fair, the only thing I want out of Warner Brothers right now is Hogwarts Legacy 2.
Well, I also Warner Brothers owns Lord of the Rings, right? Or is that someone else?
I think they do.
I want to say they do. Who
Yeah, 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 they
owns?
do.
Yeah.
They do.
So Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite franchises of all time, and I heard a while ago that they said they wanted to do more with that. I'm like, hell yeah, dude! Give me more Harry Potter stuff. Give me more Lord of the Rings stuff. Like those are my jam. Of course, I'm a huge Batman fan as well. There's a lot of things in this area that I love, and I do want more of. I don't want them to be these monetized free to play bullshit mobile games. Like
Yeah.
this market is not sustainable. How are you looking at this and be like, yes, that is our way forward? Like, no, make more of your AAA games, but don't spend 9 years to make them like with Suicide Squad. You don't make it so fucking gigantically costly that it has to do amazing to be profitable. Like make some smaller project, not Stop trying to make the next big thing all the time. Like,
But
it is
John, when they
okay to
started making Suicide Squad 3 or 4 years ago, everybody was playing live service games.
they started making that game, like, 8 years ago.
Well, yeah, 8 years ago, live service was the future, John.
Yeah, when Destiny
2
1 was
came
still
out.
playing. Yeah.
No, no, Destiny 2 came out 8 years ago. Isn't that crazy?
Yes. Jesus. It's like, we've had this unless you are at the top of the mountain, unless you are Fortnite, Call of Duty, Overwatch has its niche, League of Legends, maybe Apex is in there. Like, unless you are at the top of your
Halo.
kinda, yeah.
I'm just
Unless
trolling.
unless you are at the very top of that genre that you are going for, you are not gonna survive in the free to play realm. Like, that just doesn't work, and we've seen it time and time again, and these fucking dumbass CEOs are still like, "Ah, we want that big payday, let's go for that." It's fucking
You know what,
stupid.
John? All the CEOs say, like, "Hey, how can we potentially make more money after
Mhm.
making money off of something?"
Right.
The
Yeah.
answer, live service.
And if we fail, we'll just have more layoffs.
Yeah. I mean, I've said over and over, the thing that sucks about Suicide Squad is there are people that got hired at that dev studio specifically because they played the Arkham games and
Mhm.
wanted to make more of that. Maybe not Arkham specifically, but in that realm. And
Mhm.
then they were told to make a live service game. And I'm not saying that's everybody at that company that worked on this game, but that's probably a few people at that company at the very least. And that's just like insanely unfortunate.
Yeah.
John, quick news.
Yeah, let's get in the quick news.
Quick news article number one. Ghost of Tsushima is coming to PC. I believe it's at the end of March,
Yeah,
19th, something
I
like
think
that.
that was yeah.
So yeah, that's exciting. Director's cut coming to PC. I'm not gonna play it on PC. I am just very excited to watch videos and TikToks about how beautiful it
I
runs on like the
I
high
fell
end
off.
PC.
I fell off that game hard.
You were
I
playing for a little bit.
I was playing it. I started it last year, but I fell off and I just couldn't get back into it.
Yeah, that happens.
Hmm.
Up next, Xbox Design Lab. Um, they have added Fallout designs. You can design yours now. It looks really cool.
It does
I'm
look good.
super into it.
You and I were
Um,
talking before we started live streaming that we hope that they do more of these like series specific things, like a Halo thing, a Hi-Fi Rush. Like, think of all like the colors from Hi-Fi Rush that you could just put into a controller. That would be amazing.
yeah, yeah, would be super cool. Oh, and at the bottom there's an ad for the Fallout Amazon show, which I completely forgot about.
Oh yeah, I
April
did too.
12th comes out April 12th.
Wow, that's a lot sooner than I thought.
Yeah. Up next, the Dune Awakening trailer was released the other day. Everybody's hot on Dune right now, so it makes perfect sense that they would reveal this trailer. I don't know when it comes out. I think it might say at the end of the trailer, but it looks like a survival game. It kind of looks like Rust and No Man's Sky had a baby in a way.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I have no
I
idea. I don't know how much it costs.
I've
It
never
looks.
seen anything to do with Dune, so I have no
I
input
just
whatsoever.
watched. So I started reading the Dune book, the first book,
I didn't even know it
few
was a book.
few weeks ago. Oh yeah. And sorry, got sidetracked. And my best friend is like super into Dune. And so I watched the first movie this Sunday, and then I saw the second movie on Monday. Really good movies. So yeah, I'm excited to see how that game does. Moving on. The multiplayer Horizon game was not canceled following Sony's layoffs. So that's still in development then, huh?
Yep. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Is it Guerrilla Games?
Gorilla? Yeah.
Yeah. They were affected by the layoffs, but reportedly that multiplayer game that they've been working on is still in production. Unlike The Last of Us factions and this Twisted Metal game that I mentioned earlier.
R.I.P. John. R.I.P. MLB Road to the Show will let you play as a female for the first time as your created character. That's exciting.
Yeah, that's
They
cool.
do what's that mode called where it's like educational? Is it Legacy? It debuted for the first time this last year.
Mm, there was the Negro Leagues mode. I didn't know if they
Yeah,
actually.
I think that's what it is. But like this year they're expanding it. I think maybe they changed the name after that Negro Leagues mode did so well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, this time they're in this game they're focusing on a female baseball player, I guess. I forget what her name was. I had never heard of her, but I'm excited to play through it cuz it's
Yeah,
like super interesting to learn about.
it's
Skull and
cool
Bones
stuff.
price has been slashed by $25 after less than 3 weeks. You picking
Did
it up,
you
John?
Fuck no. Did you see the thing where they were like trying to like hype it up and they're like, wow, Skull and Bones set a Ubisoft record for like the most player engagement ever. But also it's like sold horribly and it's there. I
It's
can't remember exactly what the metric was, but it was something along the lines of most hours played per person or something like that. But they were like also
how?
counting they were also counting in like people from the beta, the free beta that just anyone
Oh,
could download.
yeah, fuck.
Uh,
That's so dumb.
yeah, it was the game's not great. I don't know, but I'm gonna
I
tell you,
don't
I'm
know.
never gonna play it.
I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you to play Sea of Thieves instead.
hmm
The physical version of Baldur's Gate 3 will now come on 4 discs, John.
On Xbox specifically, I think I saw the PlayStation one is like 2 or 3.
How how does that work? Right? Like I know back in the day the way it would work was you're done with disc 1, insert disc 2. Is it the same way?
So
Because like my curiosity is like when you put a disc in your Xbox, it installs the whole game from pretty much the internet, more or
yeah,
less. And then also like if I'm playing Baldur's Gate with you, multiplayer co-op, I have the disc you don't. What's going to happen when I get to the end of one of my discs and have to put the next disc in?
right. So yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is split into 3 acts too. So I'm guessing one is just meant for installing, and then you like put one in for Act One, two in for Act Two, and then three in for Act Three. I
I
don't
don't know.
know
I did see
why.
a sorry, I did see a article that said that they were over the limit of being on 3 discs by like 500 megabytes or something like that or 50 gigs, I don't know. And they debated internally whether like trimming down some content in the game or like maybe making, somehow smushing it all into 3 discs, but instead they decided no, just add the 4th disc.
I just
I don't
I don't
understand how it works anymore
I
cuz
I don't understand that either. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. Like
cuz
500 megabytes.
every
Baldur's
time I
Gate.
put a disc into my Xbox, which is never, by the way, it just
Yeah,
downloads the game from the internet, right? I know it installs some stuff from the disc, but
yeah.
most of it is just
That's
updating the game.
that is pretty much your just your license to play the game essentially that you're putting into your Xbox. Um I don't know, man. I don't understand this. And really, from a consumer standpoint, I know that there's a lot of people that still want their physical games and everything. I'm not trying to yuck your yum here or anything. But do you really want to buy a game that you have to have 4 discs to play? Like, just download it. I feel like that would be so much more. I don't even know, so much more friendly to use. Like, I don't want to be
Yeah.
playing and be like, oh, you went into this area, better swap out your disc. It's like, what? No.
Yeah.
I,
Or yeah, you open a door and it's like, "Hey, you gotta put in another
I
disc."
yeah, what if one of the discs is like
Middle of the
only
cutscene.
it's only for all of the indoor areas. So every time you're inside or outside, you have
Yeah.
to swap discs.
It's like, "Oh, you're traveling to a different part of the map. Here, put this disc
Mhm.
in."
Oh, you chose this dialogue option? Better swap disc. All of
Exactly.
the sex scenes are on that's the 500 megabytes that they couldn't fit in.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how that works.
No.
John, let's talk about what we've been playing. I haven't played much, right?
Well, real quick, collectibles.
Oh,
I got a Sora
collectibles.
amiibo.
Oh, I did see you post that.
Yeah.
I don't. I
Uh,
don't think I have anything.
this is the very last Super Smash Bros. Ultimate amiibo to be released, and every single character has an amiibo now, and that is insane to think about. With how many people, not only how many characters were in that game, but how many third-party characters they were able to
Everyone is
make.
here, John.
Every single one. Everyone is here.
I
Yeah,
wonder. I wonder if that was part of the deal when they approached
I have to
to
figure that was in there.
like
Yeah.
when they approached to come like, hey, we want to use Cloud, but
Mhm.
we also need the rights to make an amiibo and release an amiibo.
So, if you want to hear my tinfoil theory, I think Super Smash Bros. Ultimate led to the Super Mario RPG remake last year. I think those kind of those talks between Nintendo and Square Enix to get Cloud, Sephiroth, and Sora into Smash Brothers, I think they would also be like, "Hey, you know what? There's a lot of people that want Super Mario RPG Square. Uh, what if we throw some money your way, or we offer to just give us the okay and we'll remake
John,
this."
if there's one thing I know is that Nintendo does not think logically, right? Because
It happened though. It
John,
happened.
that's like a rare instance where you could take one thing and
I
convert it to another with Nintendo.
I get that. I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you.
John, people have been asking for Mother 3 in the
Oh no.
US since it came out. And
Hey,
instead of giving it to people in the US,
guys,
they
it
released
came
it.
out in Japan, okay?
Yeah, it came out in Japan, and then it came out on a Nintendo Online, whatever the fuck that what is their service called? Nintendo Online Collection, something like that. It
Nintendo
came
Switch
out
Online.
it
Yeah.
came out on that in Japan in the
Only
last
in
direct.
Japan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand what you're getting at here. That's what people wanted, right, Joel?
Yeah, instead we got Mario RPG, you're right.
I know a lot of people did want that.
Yeah, I know. I bought it too, I just haven't played it yet.
I want to buy it. There's a lot of things that I've fallen behind on. Um, okay, sorry. Go ahead. Tell me about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
So, you know I'm a big Final Fantasy boy.
Mm-hmm.
I've barely played this. I just have been too busy.
Mm-hmm.
Um like it seems like every day I have fucking something to do. But yeah, I played like 2 to 3 hours maybe. I'm really early in the game. It looks great. I'm excited to keep playing. The story so far has me very very intrigued cuz it's very much its own thing. Um compared to the original game, and it's very exciting to me. I'm very excited to learn more about what's going on. I'm going to play more this weekend, maybe even tonight. But yeah, I don't know. I'll have more
Okay,
to say on
I
it next week.
I have an important question for you, though, Joel. What character are you going to be romancing in this game as you move
Got it.
forward?
Got to be Tifa.
That's my boy.
Got to be
We
Tifa.
it's
And
got to be
I'll tell
Tifa.
you why. Because spoilers for the end of remake, right? They showed Zack from
Mm-hmm.
Crisis Core, right? And Crisis Core is a prequel to Final Fantasy VII.
Mm-hmm.
And in Crisis Core, Zack is like a thing with Aerith,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And in Rebirth, right, you play as Cloud. And I can't do my boy Zack dirty like that if he happens to come back in this universe we're playing in.
I
So
think.
I can't have Zack come back and see
Mm-hmm.
Cloud with his girl, Cloud being his best friend in that game in Crisis Core. I don't
Oh,
know if best
okay,
friends, but like they work together in Crisis Core
gotcha.
and like they're partners in a way. I can't have him seeing Cloud Mr. Steal Your Girl with Aerith. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And let's
But
be honest, they're
also
both hot. They're both
Tifa.
hot.
They are. I will. But Tifa, my man, Tifa is like Aerith is a she's a nice sunny hilltop. Like she's like, okay, yeah, that's nice. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But Tifa's a majestic mountain. She's like, oh my gosh, please. Give me everything. I want to make you happy. I want you to break my heart. Please. Tifa is amazing. That's
Yeah,
all I have
Tifa's
to say.
great.
Okay.
And she's way more badass in terms of
She is.
fighting
Yeah.
than Aerith is.
Yeah. That swimsuit, though.
John,
Okay.
what have you been playing? Because
All right.
I know damn well it wasn't Final Fantasy.
I have not been playing Final Fantasy. I can't really find like something to like completely capture me lately. I did play through Dead Island 2 when that came to Game Pass. I'm not going to talk about it. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Um, but I'm not going to go deep into that because that was a couple weeks ago now, I think. Uh, I also have been playing Resident Evil 3. I finished that. That game is a lot shorter than Resident Evil 2.
Did you
Uh,
get the rocket launcher mod?
I did.
You
Yes.
fucking
It
I
was
can't believe you.
100% worth it. I loved it. It was so much fun. But that game is like 2 hours long. It took me like 2 hours and 15 minutes to beat it. I
Okay,
was not
that's short.
expecting it to be that short. Yeah,
I mean, you also had a rocket launcher with infinite ammo the whole
that is true.
time.
That is true. But still, I mean, like Resident Evil 2 took me longer than that. And I had the same thing. Uh, but no, it wasn't bad by any means, but I do prefer 2. But 3 was fine. Um, I finished up Luigi's Mansion on my GameCube. That was
Cool.
the first time I ever played through that game. It was it was good. I don't know if I like it as much as Luigi's Mansion 3, but now I can say that I've beat both of those. And when Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon or 2, what are they calling it on Switch? Is it just 2? It was
I
called Dark
don't
Moon back in the day. I
know.
remember that. Whatever.
I think they're calling it too. Then yeah.
Yeah. Luigi's Mansion 2, when it comes to Switch, I'll play it there, and then I'll be able to say that I've played all of them.
It's so even more confusing than just being Luigi's Mansion 2, John. It's called Luigi's Mansion 2 HD.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever. I'll play that when it comes out.
Because it being called Luigi's Mansion 2 HD implies that Luigi's Mansion 2 came out somewhere at some point, but it technically didn't because it was called Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon.
I think it was called 2 in Europe, but not Dark Moon over here for some reason. I don't, or maybe it was Japan that it was just called 2. I don't know. But yeah, it's what a situation there. So yeah, I also have downloaded Payday 2, and I'm playing that with a friend. That game, I'm not in love with it. I'm not gonna lie. I know
Is
there's a
it
lot of people.
does it feel better than Payday 3?
No, not really.
So you
There's
think we had our fun with it and we're done?
Yeah. I think I would like it more if I had a full team. I've just been playing with one person, and we were doing some levels yesterday, and they're just not that fun. Like there was one where we had to like carry these warheads like 350 meters across a warehouse with nonstop police coming in and shooting at us. And we found out on our second trip through that there was a forklift we could put them on to make it go faster, but otherwise we were just like slowly
Oh,
moving the
that
entire
does not sound
time.
fun.
It was not fun. And then there was also a stealth mission that if you get caught, you automatically lose. And in Payday, pretty much everything reveals you to people. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not having a great time with it. I'm playing it because my friend, he's just like, hey, do you want to play this? He's very much into playing cooperative games, and we rushed through Dead Island 2. Like we finished that game within 3 days. We played a ton of that, but now we're just kind of like waiting. I think for MLB to come out, and then but besides that, there's just not really much for us at the moment.
Yeah.
I need to get back in the Helldivers. Tell me more about that.
John, I got so addicted to Helldivers the past few
Yeah.
weeks. I haven't played since Final Fantasy came out because that's really the last game I played was Final
Mhm.
Fantasy like last Thursday. Um, but Helldivers 2, it's so much fucking fun. Like I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop watching TikToks about it. Can't stop watching tweets about it. It's just it's a simple game that is just fun to play.
Hmm.
And they really crushed what the game is. Um, yeah, it's just I don't know what else to say, man. It's just a good time. I haven't
It
even
is.
checked out what the mission after that first overall mission is because we failed that first one, I believe, as like a whole. Because like when you so there's an overall, it's called a major mission, and it's like everybody, it's for everybody, right? It's not just like
Hmm.
me doing something 8 times, it's everybody. And I'm pretty sure we failed it as a community. And so yeah, I got to get on there and see what the next mission is because I haven't
You have to
checked.
you have to play your part to
Yeah,
secure democracy.
yeah. It did get a patch today that like nerfed a bunch of weapons. It kind of nerfed like the meta
Uh,
that everybody's been using, which is like the railgun, the overshield, and some other stuff. But it buffed up like the flamethrower, which is good because it was pretty underpowered.
I did see
Um,
that they announced mechs are coming at some point.
so that's the thing is there's a guy who is a developer for the he works at the studio. His name is Joel, ironically enough, and
Hmm.
they call his title is game master, I think it is, and he is just able to see everybody's games whenever. Like, I don't know if it's like analytically or if he can like physically see a map and what people are doing, but he's just been like dropping things on people mid game, and one of the things he's been dropping are these mechs for people to try,
Hmm.
which is fucking insane to me. Like, that's not something games do. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
that's not normal practice by any means for any game company. So for
Yeah.
them to be doing stuff like that, and he was also like making it harder for people to do that main, like I said, the major order by like if like somebody was playing on a hard, so I'm pretty sure the way it works, if you're playing on harder difficulty, it counts more towards liberating a planet than if you're on easier. But he
Yeah.
was making it even harder for people by dropping like a huge wave of enemies, like at
Hmm.
the end when they're trying to extract or something to make them fail. Um, so yeah,
He
it's all super interesting to me.
he essentially was just hacking the game, being like, "Yeah, here
But
you
from
go, have
inside,
fun." Yeah,
but like he's getting paid to do it.
yeah. He turned on God mode and was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck you guys."
So yeah,
Uh,
if you look on YouTube and stuff, you can find videos of people using the mech in game
mhm.
because like it has just been being dropped within
Well,
people's games.
also, there was a tweet yesterday. I've got it pulled up here. The Helldivers 2 Twitter account says Helldivers, the XO 45 Patriot exosuits are in full production in the factories of Tian Quan,
Yeah,
ready for deployment on the battlefield soon. So they're coming to everyone pretty soon. It sounds.
yeah. It's exciting. So I think I when I stopped playing last week, I was level 22. So I've definitely put some time in because like it can be a grind to
Yeah,
level up.
I uh, I only played a few sessions, and it's fun, but I I do hit a wall with that game, I think, where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to play something else. I acknowledge that it's fun. It's just, I don't know. I guess I just, at some point, I'm like, okay, that was
It
enough for
can
today.
it, it can also be a commitment to where like because usually when you click on what mission you want to do, right? You click on an area of the map, and there's 2 or 3 missions within that area.
Hmm.
And depending on which one you select, some of them could be, 5-minute matches where it's just kill enemies and extract. Some of them could be 40 minutes, and all three of them could be
Hmm.
40-minute ones. And so if you don't look at that beforehand, you're kind of locked in because like you get benefits from doing all three, right? Like it only counts for liberating the planet if you do all three. If you only do two, it doesn't count at all. Like it hurts you.
Hmm.
And if you do all three, you get like more resources and medals for completing them. So yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm excited to play more. I'll definitely be playing more of that this weekend. That and
Cool.
Final Fantasy. All right, I think that's gonna do it for episode 255 of the Pixel Street podcast. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street. Check out the pin tweet there to join our Discord server. Come tell us what you've been playing. Tell us your wacky Nintendo takes, like John did, about Super Mario RPG, and that's why it exists.
Mhm. Super
Uh,
Smash Brothers is to thank for that. Yeah.
yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at Campo63 or twitch.tv/Campo63. John, where are you on the World Wide Web?
On Twitter, I am at Rivik Shadows, and you can find my writing on GameSandwich.com.
Cool. We'll be right back here next week with episode 256 of the Pixel Street Podcast. Oh, also, I'm going to PAX East this year, so I'm excited to play some games there and talk about them when I come
Nice.
back. So,
Bye.
bye.